Hey, good night, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you're from. If you're going to bed now, well, good night. If you're just joining, and whatever, whatever. Hi. I don't think there's anyone. Well, I see 3 people. You guys can say hi in the chat if you want. For now, I'm gonna give people a chance to join. Maybe Annie from Back to Basics Homestead will join. I sent the link to a couple of people, so let's see if they decide to come. It's not fun talking to myself, so hopefully people will join and start asking questions. Can I share this? Yes. Create post. Not create post. Share, copy. Let me just go. Hello, Tracy. Thank God you're here. Let me just share that on Facebook because right now you just got here. Awesome. Global gardening and homesteading. Small YouTube homesteaders. There. Thing is, I know that Scott from Rambling with the Brooms is also going live at the exact same time. Something he started a couple of weeks ago. So I'm guessing he's taking some of my views away, but it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. Oh, you wanted to go to bed. Oh, Annie's here. Let's bring her up. Hello. You're on mute. Okay.
I'm here, but I forgot to open my light. I'll be right back.
Okay. I tried talking to myself and realized no one was home. Yeah, that must be hard for you, Tracy, right? You talk to yourself and you don't answer. I mean, you're not even listening to yourself. So last week, I had a live stream with some friends and family, hoping that things were going to go well. Turned out that I'm guessing for you guys, it kind of sucked. Funny thing, I didn't get flagged for all the swearing that you could hear in the background. I got flagged for one of the songs that my cousin was playing on the guitar at the end. So apparently he sings like the original singer because he got flagged for copyrights. So what happened? I don't know. But I had to take the live stream down. So it's all good now. I'm going to try to catch up on my watch hours a little bit. How are you, Annie?
Where do I start? This week I haven't stopped like a minute. I'm exhausted.
So this is kind of a little break for you.
Yeah, well, technically I should be with the kids, but I sent them upstairs. I hope
They behave.
I hope they will behave because little one's with Fred, my husband, and the 2 others are on their own in their room. Let's cross my fingers, my toes, my ears, that it's going to be fine.
It should be all right. So you're in full homesteading mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
And harvesting and canning and preserving.
Everything preserving. Harvesting, I'm having a hard time. I can't keep up. Beans is every 2 days, 2-3 days tops, and I am harvesting like an average of 4 to 7 pounds. The biggest was 9 pounds every couple of days, and then processing it the same day or the day after that, and then the chickens, and then
Yeah.
I was donated 17 pounds of summer squash, so I had to do something with that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I went to Mama Homemade, Annie, and she's like, I am so overwhelmed. I have so many things to harvest. I don't have enough time. So I'm like, well, I'm here. So might as well harvest and help you out. So we started with summer squash, and like I would dream to have her summer squash bed. It's I think it's 20 or 30 feet long. And her plants are like huge, huge. Like mine are like puny and like so small, and bugs are all over it. And like I started looking and like, oh, you have one here, or you have one here. And like she was taking out these boats, zucchini boats.
Nice.
And then I harvested, I think, 13 pounds, and she gave me 4.
Nice.
So yeah.
I
So
find zucchini once the plant starts growing, it doesn't like it'll get big. Then at some point it stops, but they all get the same size and it looks huge.
mm,
I
I
don't
don't have
have
that.
no. You have problems with the
Well, the cucumber beetle, I found some solutions.
okay.
So I'm converting into hybrids for certain crops. So the cucumber beetle is vicious here, regardless of everything I have tried. Even that you suggested a spray last year. What
Safer 3-in-1.
it's like BTK or something. It didn't do anything. And then Tracy suggested diatomaceous earth. But like every time it rains, I have to add more.
Uh,
But then,
raining nonstop.
yeah, it's been raining nonstop. And if I put diatomaceous earth in my zucchini flowers, I could potentially harm bees.
Yeah, true.
So I've converted into hybrids, but they're doing amazing. And but what's killing them is the vine borer.
Oh no.
Yeah. So my goal this year was to sow 3 times what I needed in the hopes of having what I need. But it's not going to happen. I maybe had like 10 zucchinis at this point.
If I look at my document right now, I have 10 zucchinis and 2 squash
I,
harvested so far.
I lost control of my melon, pumpkin, and winter squash. I have to film this because saying it is like, meh, but seeing it, it's like there's like vines everywhere, and they're like overlapping another row, and they're going like everywhere. I have no idea how I'm gonna manage to walk through all of that. And I had the brightest idea to sow pole beans with them.
Oh, so you're really limited in space then.
Yeah, so it's like going on an adventure. Just to harvest your pole beans.
You don't know when you'll go face to face with a spider, an ant, or
Yeah,
bees.
well, ants I can deal with. I try to go at la pinome. How do you say that in English? When the sun sets, so the bees are not there. So at least if I smack a flower or
Yeah.
I am too close from a fruit, at least I won't get stung. But spiders, the chances are very high that I will have multiple spiders in there. But I try not to think too much of it.
Yeah. I don't like around spiders. My biggest struggle right now in the garden is just to keep up with the weeds. It
What
seems
weeds? We have weeds? I didn't know. I thought we
it's
were
been
growing.
raining nonstop since the beginning of June. We've had about 2 weeks of sun. The 2 weeks I was on vacation, so I was actually away from the house for a few days. It was fun and it was nice during those days, but the weed is just taking over everything. I started removing all the weeds from one aisle, and the cucumber plants that are left behind are so small. Like I don't even know if they're gonna grow into cucumbers or not. Like they're that high from the ground and maybe that long. Like they didn't do much. So I'm gonna have to put some rabbit manure around them.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of compost because they were probably in combat with all those weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, weeds are. I was supposed to weed the garden and film a garden tour. That's not happening. You
Well,
guys will see the weeds.
You finish one aisle and you look behind you and it's growing back faster than your plants. So
Yeah.
you feel like you're doing everything for nothing.
Yeah, and because it's raining so much, you're waiting, and let's just say you forget one, just one,
Just
then it
one.
starts raining, and
Yep.
it's all so.
But I don't think there's any other magical way to just go in there, especially since everything has started growing. I go in the garden, I just start removing some weeds, and then I notice in my hands that I have some carrots. I have some
It
cucumber
happens
plants.
sometimes.
Like I didn't even see it, but I have it in my hand. So I try to put it back. Hopefully, it'll take at some point and
Yeah.
grow a little bit. Um,
There is one thing I've realized this year. I have a tendency of playing tic tac toe and overcrowding my spaces, and I have to stop doing that because since there's so much weed, and so all the plants are like everywhere. I'm trying to weed, and then I'm doing that. I'm harvesting something. I'm like, oh, this is a plant. This is not a weed. And because everything is crammed up this year, since it's raining more, I have lots of disease this year. My beans, my bush beans, are probably 1 or 2 weeks left. Some one row I removed. Actually, 2 rows I removed because the water was falling on the leaves of the bean and they were splashing on my tomato plants. So
oh,
creating more powdery mildew on my tomatoes. So I just removed it. They were like almost all dead anyways. But I'm starting to understand spacing a little bit better.
you're talking about tomatoes. I have to go in my greenhouse. Maybe if it's raining a lot, it's supposed to rain all weekend. So maybe that's something I'm going to do this weekend. Go in the greenhouse and try to trellis my tomatoes. Try to find a way. It's a
Mine
jungle.
are like not even savable. I've lost track of trellising them, and some of them are like on the side.
Well, some of them are really on the ground like this.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
don't.
hoping to bring them up a little bit.
I'm trying. Like my husband was on vacation. We were supposed to tackle tomatoes, but he was sick. He's just starting to get better, and he's going back to work Monday.
Yeah.
So every single project we were supposed to do during his 2 weeks off did not happen.
Well, at
Well, wait.
least,
Sorry, we harvested our chickens.
yeah. So that went well.
Yeah. Well, the way he set up, I think it's because his brain was so mush. He set up his table for me, not for me, just for him. Because usually we would set up two tables, one next to each other, so that I can assist him. But this year, the way he set up, I didn't have enough space to work next to him. So I removed a couple of feathers, but that's about it. But I did do the cut up. So once they were chilled in the fridge for 24 hours, I'm the one that deboned most of them and like vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I
We
also canned some.
Yeah, that's something I don't know if I'm gonna be canning any chickens. I know it's probably a good thing in terms of having more space in my freezers. Um,
I do it for more than that. I also do it for nights where I come in the house, it's 4:50, everyone's starving and I have no idea what to do. And I can just take a pint of barbecue sauce, a pint or a quart of cooked chicken, and do pulled pork. Sorry,
well,
pulled chicken. Like that's
yeah,
why I
yeah.
do it for those nights where everything is so
You don't feel
crazy.
like cooking or you don't have time. Yeah, that's another thing that you have
Yeah.
to keep in mind when you're canning. One of the things I want to start doing this year is do some stew, chicken soup, stuff like that, and put that in mason jars and can them.
I tried something different this year with chicken soup. So last year I canned the Amish canning book recipe, which has more liquid, so that you can add noodles to it or rice or whatever type of starch that you like to add to soup. And I find that, hello, creative redundancy. We're talking about food again.
Yeah, you come in as we talk about food.
This year I'm trying something different. I canned cooked chicken in broth instead of a soup. So I'm canning ingredients instead of full recipes. So it's giving me more flexibility. I'm going to try it this way to see which one I prefer. So like I could just take out 1 liter of broth, a 500 ml of carrots, and then just create a soup.
Hungry to
I'm so
learn.
sorry. I always talk about food.
Well, that's kind of what we do. We grow our own
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
I was talking to some of the parents yesterday. The kids had a soccer game, and they were telling me stories, like horror stories, about what they found at the market, or some of them went to Dixili, a fried chicken restaurant, not too far, and like the guy was saying that he paid like $24 for popcorn chicken, and he had like 10 tiny bit like pieces like this big.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't even eat them. I felt bad eating them. Like, you brought them home for the kids because you didn't want to
Yeah.
waste $24 on chickens and not being full. You figured at least the kids will have a snack.
Ironically, when you eat all those foods from those restaurants, you feel full, but then I don't know if you've noticed, you end up like munching so much that evening.
Well, I never really stopped to really figure
Well,
this
here
out.
that's what it is. When me and Fred, poutine is different, but like when I'm talking about those restaurants like
McDonald's.
Baker, what's it called, Burger King, McDonald's, and all that,
Yeah.
I'm always like I feel so blah after I ate it, and then I feel dehydrated because of all the salt, and then I have like one of the worst case of munchies in the late after in the late evening, which is not good.
But it's just the price. Everything is so expensive now. It's insane.
It's insane.
You talked about Putin now. You got Tracy
I'm so
craving.
sorry. Poutine. Speaking of prices of food, you guys all have access to Facebook Marketplace. I was sent an ad. Okay, it was far from my house, but I had to go in that direction to go pick up Fred's truck for work on Monday. And I asked the lady where her address was, and he was like, 15 minutes detour. I got 20 pounds of second quality zucchini for $8.
Nice.
So this is considered a second quality. Like this one has an imperfection. So I don't know if the camera can pick it up. There's like an indentation here. So probably the knife that was cutting the end nicked the zucchini. So this is not able to be sold in the store. And then this one is perfect. Okay. This one has nothing. I don't know if you can see it. There's nothing wrong with it. But because it's curved, it's not sold in the grocery store. So this is considered second.
That's
And
crazy when you think about it.
so she's like, how many boxes do you want? I was like, okay, there's like already 17 pounds I've already done. Now I have 20 more pounds. So I can't go like close to 60 pounds of zucchini. There's so many zucchini recipes I can do. But it blew my mind. It literally blew my mind that.
Like, if you have enough for a year, it's worth it.
Yeah, well, here's another one. This is called sun scald. Or like bug damage. They can't sell this in grocery stores. I don't understand. This is how my zucchini comes out of my garden, and they taste fine. You just need to remove the damaged part, and then, anyways, she was selling hundreds and hundreds of cases
Wow.
of seconds, $8. I was like, that's crazy. So, lesson learned: look on Facebook Marketplace for agriculture places. They will now sell more and more seconds. This is the second I've purchased this year. Last year, I purchased squash for $1.
And you did the same thing with carrots and apples. Was it last year or
last year I did squash, carrots, and apples. You're right.
And I mean, it's insane. Like, they don't want to sell it in the stores. They're just going to throw it away. But imagine if they sold those in the store, even if it was at a lower cost, they would make a little bit more money, and they could bring the cost of the other ones down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the grocery store won't do it. They will not do it. So they have two options. They either do Facebook Marketplace for like smaller people like us, or throw it out. But then throwing it out means that their cost of their operation goes up. So they're going to take the chance of selling it per case, per 20 pounds, for like probably like cost. So at least that they cover their basics. Last year, apples were $20 a bag. No, it was lower than that. It was a 40-pound bag of second apples. I think it was $20. Yeah, it was $20 for 40 pounds, and it was ridiculous. Okay, yes, some were
Mossed a little bit.
You know, when they drop on the ground. So there's a little bit of work to do. So that means you have to open your 40-pound bag, and you need to sort the ones that needs to be eaten right away, and then you know that you have about a week and a half in front of you for processing it, instead of like many weeks if it was first quality. But it's 50% of the price for like what, 10 minutes of inspecting like apples, and then you put aside the one that needs to be eaten right away or processed right away. So I find it's not that much more work. The potatoes that I bought, the 100 pounds, that was a lot of work. It was like an extremely good deal. This year I had 100 pounds of potatoes for $16.
Wow.
But there was a lot. That was a heck of a project. I still have, I think, 15 pounds to do. Those are the ones that are like the least damaged. But it was a lot of work.
And back in the days, I remember not more than 3-4 years ago, you could go to the grocery store, get a 50-pound bag of potatoes, and they were $9.99, and sometimes it would be on sale for like $7.99 for 50 pounds.
Now I think it's 17 in Super C, one of the grocery stores that we have. I think it's 17.
Yeah, around $20 for sure.
Yeah. At the farm stand, I think it's about $20 for the 50-pound bag.
That's insane. And it's so easy to grow. You just put potatoes in the ground. That's all you do. You just have to put the peels in the ground.
Yeah.
Leave it there for next year. Pick it up next year.
Well, it is a heavy crop. They need a lot of compost. They need to be held. But there are so many new ways of growing potatoes that are not that much work. Like Darren did it. There's another person did it. Like the hay. So they bury the potatoes 2 inches deep and then add either straw or. Can I access Facebook Marketplace when I'm not a Facebook person? You need an account, that's for sure. So ask maybe a colleague, a friend, a sister to look around your area for.
Yeah. Get someone to look for you and find a deal. The garden, my garden is growing great, but we've had last couple of days where around 9 Celsius at night, which is very cold for this time of year. So
it was 10 here. It was very cold.
But it is growing. It's starting to pop up now.
Sorry. So sorry.
And funny thing, like there's nothing wrong with that. And like Jane's saying, customers won't buy it if it doesn't look perfect. But it
Yeah,
tastes the same thing. People need to be educated about that stuff.
yeah.
When you buy a carrot that has a little curve in it, it's still going to taste the same thing.
Mm.
And yet
It
people
tastes
won't buy it.
exactly the same thing. Like I've been buying seconds of carrots for so many years. You get almost 3 times worth your money.
Yep.
But they're crooked. But like in your mouth when you chew it, it tastes exactly the same.
Yep. Because
So
whatever we grow from the garden, it's all going in our mason jars or in our on our plates. I mean, they're not growing perfectly.
yeah, I think that if people would understand like what happens with seconds. Yes, there's a lot of pig farmers that purchase seconds and thirds quality. There's a lot more and more and more farms are buying second quality, third quality, or uh, near being going in the garbage for porks. But like they need to understand that they taste exactly the same, but they need to just like example, this peach is like near death. Okay, I forgot this peach on my counter. So, but it's still eatable. Like you need to. There's at least a quarter of this peach that's still good. There's just a little work to be done for you to eat that quarter peach. But mostly everyone would just take this and where'd you go?
No, I just want you to show the
Oh,
close up.
here. See, like the bottom is all black, and then there's like my kids probably dropped it on the ground. So there's still like at least a quarter of a peach that's still good on this. But we need to learn how to deal with it so that we can eat that quarter because this is still food.
Yep.
Okay, I have
Again.
chickens, so I can just like go, okay, so once I realize that there's nothing I can do to save it, well then it's gonna go in the compost pile. So it's still gonna do something for me, but we need to learn how to work a little.
Yeah. Well, my brother has a mentality where he's like, if I stay home doing nothing, watching TV or mowing the lawn is not necessarily doing nothing, but still, it's not really productive in its own kind of way. But if you're home, even if you're taking the full day or the full Saturday to full Sunday to do the one task you're about to do, whether it's scanning, whether it's digging to plant a garden or anything like that, like working on food, it doesn't cost you anything. And that's one of the things I keep telling people when they ask me, um, can you provide for your whole family for a year with your garden?
No,
No. But
it's impossible.
yeah, it's impossible. But by staying home, working in the garden, I don't go drink beer at the ball field because when I'm done, this year I started playing. When I'm done
Yeah,
my game, I want to come back home to work in the garden. So I don't stay there and spend that extra money on unnecessary things.
yeah. Well, you see different after a couple of years of being home. At first you miss it, but then you find something else. And there's days that I go to the grocery store and I see something I really want to eat that my garden is right now not really producing, or it's not the season, or it's freaking cold outside. I refuse to pay like $9 for romaine lettuce. There's no way that I'm gonna buy romaine lettuce for $9.
I
So
have so much growing in my garden right now. I don't even know what to do with it.
I have to wait. It's raining too much, and slugs this year are like
Yeah, they're bad.
massacring my lettuce. So I might do lettuce. I think the last sowing is this week or next week, so I'm gonna try it again. But because like they locate themselves like at the bottom of the lettuce, and then it kind of like rots.
Yeah,
So it's
they They are everywhere this year, and they were around here. They were the same last year. You go to harvest mushrooms, they've been eaten by slugs. You go to harvest cucumbers, they've been eaten by slugs. The plants, lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, they go after my strawberries. They go after my apples.
Marilyn just left.
Oh, bye, Marilyn. Thanks for dropping by. Hello, John. Good evening. Yeah, so much food being wasted. And I took the foraging class a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, there's so much food around us. Could we live off that food alone? No,
Probably not.
but it can save you lots of money.
Yeah.
People see dandelion and they think about the dandelion jelly or, just a flower, but the leaves are like spinach. Um, there's like the red clover, the flowers. Apparently, it's delicious. Um, if you live near a beach or, you might have some different plants there that are delicious. I've tried some sea plantain. Oh my God, it's so good. Um, daily
They
leaves.
they call the people that forage so many names, but let's just say that tomorrow morning the end of the world happens. That crazy lady or that crazy dude that harvests in the wild is going to be the first person to be asked so many questions because everyone's going to be starving. Merci, Philippe.
Yes, and it's free food. People are starving all over the world,
Yeah.
and you have free food growing right there. Like, there's some things growing in my yard right now that I didn't even know was edible, and it replaces any greens really you can have in a salad.
Or there's also the option of at the end of the year at Canadian Tire, there's so many perennials that are for sale that are edible. You
Hmm.
can do a food forest of perennials. Like there's certain flowers that you can eat, certain like asparagus or all of those plants. Obviously, the first year you're not gonna have a lot of
No,
food from
not-
it,
yeah,
but like you can have. Isn't
it's
there
it's
like
fun.
wild lettuce or something like that? Wild lettuce, wild carrots.
Yep, there is. I don't know much about the wild lettuce because there's a lot of lookalikes, and I'm not really familiar with them. But the wild carrots, there are some deadly plants that look alike. But
Okay.
once you know the difference, just the one thing that I know right off the back, if you look at the leaves will actually look like the carrot leaves. They have those like the green part, the way the carrot is made.
Hmm.
They
The
have
leafy part.
yeah, the green leaves is pretty much the same thing. Plus, it smells like carrots.
There's also wild celery.
Yep. That's another one that I don't know much about, but I know it's out there. But it probably smells like celery.
I think so. Chris and Steph made a video, I think, about wild celery.
Pinch a slug.
Wild lettuce isn't great for food, good for medicine. Oh, okay. I just learned something. I'm still very basic with edibles
Hi, Randall.
and foraging. Green onion and chives. I don't think I could survive just on greens and chive. After a while, I think I'll like have like a bad stomach. But I prefer garlic chives. Actually, they taste much better.
There's a lot of plants also that are good for tea,
Yeah,
and even if they don't give you like a full belly, you don't get the satisfaction of being um,
filled.
full. Yeah, you're not. It still give you a lot of vitamins and other nutrients.
Yeah.
You can make a tea with just the pine needles. It won't taste much,
Well, you'll have something in your stomach.
but you'll have even more. Oh, we have another guest. Ladies and gentlemen,
Who's here? Hi,
What's going on, guys?
not much you.
Long time no see. Hope everyone is doing amazing and the gods have been smiling on you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they've been filling my days of work pretty much. So I don't know if it's called smiling, but they've been keeping me busy.
Nice.
I saw your blueberry harvest.
It's crazy. I am overwhelmed because I'm going out like every day at lunch and then after work and taking like 15, 20 minutes and trying to fill up like the small yogurt tubs. Like if I go out and fill up one of those every trip, it's awesome. So, but I think we're up to about 15 pounds or so,
Nice.
16 pounds of wild blueberries.
Wow.
So,
And that's all on your property?
yeah. We've got so many wild blueberries on the property. It's just crazy. So
I wanted to find one and bring one or two plants back home when I was out in my adventure this week, but I couldn't find any.
they are nice, except because they grow wild and they're great, except they're small, right?
Yeah.
So 2 wild blueberries make up like 1 domestic blueberry. So
True. So it's more work.
hope everyone in the chat's doing awesome. I see some comments there. So yeah, it's one of those. And the funniest thing is like we're freezing some. We've already been baking with some. And now Bridget said, oh, let's dehydrate some so the boys can use it in their oatmeal and that sort of stuff. Well, it's not like dehydrating the regular domestic blueberries where, you get a nice size chunk of blueberry in your cereal. It's like, now it's like sand. They're so small when you dehydrate them. It's crazy.
Not the idea you guys wanted.
I don't think we're going to dehydrate wild blueberries again.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, rehydrate them and then blend them up in a smoothie.
Yeah, exactly. So,
There's always a way to deal with that.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So how about the garden? Is the garden doing well?
The garden is doing horrible. It is absolutely horrible. We've been so busy. Weeds have taken over like our market style garden. Rem, you've been here, so I don't know if you remember how we have like the fenced in area for the raised beds. And then just behind that, we have kind of like 3 rows of market style gardens. Mm-hmm. And the weeds have taken over that because we haven't had time to do that.
Is that where you had your potatoes last year?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah. And then besides that, I think we've had like 2 months of rain. We've had maybe 2 days in the last 2 months where we've had no rain.
It's been raining a lot this year.
It's crazy. So we've lacked a ton of sunshine. So I go out and look at like the beets, the kohlrabi, the turnip. They're not doing anything whatsoever. We're growing some leaves and that's it. So there's no actual root expanding or doing anything. So it's really frustrating in that regard. And then a lot of the green beans have become really, I want to say stringy. So instead of being, we always grow the pole beans because it just works out so much better to grow vertically than do the bush beans. But they're going up and there's so few leaves and so few blooms. It's just, we're not getting the harvest that we used to get.
When did you sow them?
As soon as it was, basically as soon as we could work the dirt.
Okay, so you guys are June 5th?
It's like June 12th is the last frost date.
Okay, so
but we sowed them before that because we could work the ground like a few weeks before that.
Okay, so June, the entire month of June, the entire month of July. Actually, no.
It would be like late July. Late May.
So right now, you sent me a couple of your beans that you guys have. That's from West Coast Seed. Matilda.
Yeah, the Matilda beans do
Yeah.
amazing for us.
They
James,
just
we actually we ordered, I want to say it was like 25 bags of shrimp compost, maybe 30 bags of shrimp compost. And we put that in the soil this year as well. And we put all our rabbit manure in the gardens as well. And it's just meh. So,
well, I was gonna say the beans that you sent me are 65 days to maturity.
yeah,
So
it
technically,
sounds about right.
they should start producing now for you, end of July, beginning of August.
Yeah.
That mine just started.
Yeah.
I sowed
Like,
the 14 seeds you sent me, and I'm starting to harvest a couple every
we
day.
got a Facebook notice, or I got one, and it showed basically like this huge colander, huge strainer, just full of green beans. And I remember last year we were overwhelmed by green beans.
Oh, no.
And this year, if we get, enough to fill like one of those little harvest your own baskets that they give you, if we get enough for that in a harvest, we're lucky. So
I guess I'm the one that has a good time with beans. I'm harvesting
nice.
6 pounds every 2 days. I have no idea what to do with them. I'm just pressure canning them at the moment.
Tracy, have a great weekend. Take care, eh?
Yeah, take care, Tracy.
Yeah. Last year, like, we canned so many beans and we froze so many. And this year we wanted to freeze tons of beans as well, because we still have so many canned from last year. And we just prefer the frozen beans to canned beans. It's just a different taste, a different texture. When you can them, there's a different taste to it, and they're a bit soggy. So those ones we usually do with, like, we'll throw a ton of onion and bacon and do them up that way. Yeah, but the frozen ones you can just sort of steam or heat up, and they're good to eat with some butter.
It's funny. I don't have that problem with my canned beans.
What?
No.
What are you doing that I'm not doing?
I don't know. So I fill my beans in my jar. They are a day old, max 2 days old. When I'm not processing them, they're in the fridge so that they remain crisp. And I cut them up in little pieces, not with a knife, with my fingers. I put them in the jar, fill them with boiling water, and for pints, I add half a teaspoon of salt. And for quarts, I add, I think it's a teaspoon of salt. And then I pressure can them. And when I cook them, I don't boil them. I heat them. Because last time when I boil them, they were mush. So I just leave I leave on my oven. I leave on low, and I let the water come to temperature, and then I just let the water get up to temperature. So it's like not super warm beans. It's like temperatured beans.
Yeah, we don't do that with our beans. Like, we don't boil them at all. It's like anything canned gets thrown in with some onions and bacon and butter and that sort of thing.
So you pan fry them?
Yeah.
I've never tried that. I usually have them in cold salads.
I would hesitate. Like, I would throw my frozen stuff or my fresh stuff in a cold salad, but canned stuff, no.
That means I have to make you try
it. It's got a different taste to it. So,
okay.
Maybe you need to, like, come down here for a week and just can all our beans for us.
Oh God, who's gonna take care of my garden?
Whatever. It's like,
find someone. Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, come on now.
Okay. Yeah. I'll bring my 2 canners with me. We'll do a big load.
Maybe it's the canner. I don't know.
I have the same as you, I think. I have you have the electrical one.
No, I've got one electrical. I forget. It's the Instant Pot
Instant Pot.
Max. But for the big batches, we use I think it's the Presto.
Yeah, I have the Presto
23?
23 quarts,
Yeah.
the double stack.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I've
I don't
never
think
double
it's the
stacked
kind of.
anything yet, though.
Oh, this is fun. I love double stacking. Like when you take out 18 jars, 18 pints of food,
That's awesome, eh?
like I feel amazing. Like I feel like I have superpowers.
We might get to that doing our carrot harvest because the carrots are looking pretty good. We'll see.
That's good. At least you
Yeah.
have positive stuff.
Some positive. So, yeah. The blueberries are positive. It looks like we might have a good blackberry harvest. So, we'll
Nice.
see.
You have porks also coming in the fall.
Yeah, our meat, we're kind of like overstocked on meat, actually. So, when we did the chickens this year, we've got the one stand-up freezer that's full, and then out in the garage, it's like half full. So then we're like, okay, so this year we're supposed to harvest two pigs and then another Highland cow. And it's like, it's not going to fit. So we've still got lots of pork from last year, lots of bacon. And I still have pork bellies from 2021 that I still need to do bacon with. So we might just harvest one pig this year and then harvest the Highland cow in the spring next year instead of this fall.
Didn't you say 2 pigs?
Yeah, so I might just harvest one pig this fall instead of 2 pigs this fall.
So you'll overwinter 1 pig?
No, either sell them or whatever. So we've got a friend. We've got 3 pigs right now. One friend is taking one. And then the other 2 we were supposed to take. Yeah, overstocked on meat. Impossible. So, but yeah, our friend is taking one. And then we might contact my brother-in-law to take one. And then we'll keep one. We'll see.
Thank you, Bridget.
Oh, hello, baby. What are you up to?
She's being naughty in the other room.
She's
You know,
always
Darren,
being
I
naughty.
have an empty freezer here. Just saying.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Good to know. We might make a trip out.
I was supposed to go moose hunting in the fall, but I doubt that it's going to happen. So
That's the thing we're thinking is like maybe we won't harvest the Highland this fall, and then if I can get a deer this fall, that will probably see us through for red meat till maybe next spring, maybe next fall. So
I don't have that issue. My freezers are starting to get empty.
ouch. Yeah.
Well, I can't raise all my meat, so someone raises the pork for us.
Yeah.
And we go pick it up at 2.5 hours away from our house.
That's not too bad though.
No.
No.
So we leave bright and early in the morning. The car is packed. I have to bring ice chests and like that ice that doesn't melt. What do you call it?
Doesn't melt.
dry ice.
No such thing.
Dry ice.
That dry
ice or
yeah,
blocked ice or
something like that. And then like round trip, like we go there and we literally come back. So we drive about 5-6 hours nonstop just to pick up one pork.
That's not too bad though. Like depending on the price you're paying for it.
Well, we have a good connection, so we pay what it costs him.
Oh, that's perfect then.
Yeah, so it's a favor. Yeah. It all started because we were talking about Chanticleers and how to raise them. If I wanted a flock of Chanticleers, because I wanted to build a self-sufficient line with the Chanticleer. Because the male, when they reached a certain age, they are harvestable and the meat actually tastes well. So we started chit-chatting like that. And then he showed me a picture of his pig. It stayed like that. And then back and forth, chatting. And he says that his operation was costing him a fortune. And then I told him, well, have you heard of Joel Salatin? Have you heard of Justin Rhodes? And then I started talking about the knowledge I have accumulated over the years of the videos I watch. And then he paid, I think, for the Joel Salatin training. And at the
Okay,
end of
nice.
the season, he contacts me and he says to say thank you, because now my operation is like doing super well. You're gonna have, until I stop producing pork, my price.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, I didn't do it for that. Like, I was just sharing information that I've acquired over the years. And
Is he in Quebec or Ontario?
he's in Quebec.
That's crazy.
He's close to Patrick.
Okay.
So Eastern Townships.
Okay.
So it's
he's probably got a good butcher then or something.
Yeah, he has a French butcher, which is a artisan.
Okay.
So it's a little different than the like regular butcher.
Yeah.
So I actually go to the guy's place.
Nice.
So the porks are brought to his place, and he has like his house, which is on top of the hill, and then at the bottom of the hill he has his operation there, and he processes the meats there. It's really amazing. So it's a different thing when it's like family oriented.
Yeah, that's just it, because it's like you got to have the right setup and the right situation and the right kind of everything, like the stars kind of align for you to do it right, because we've looked at getting the pork and taking it to a butcher and all that, and for us to raise the pigs, then take it to a butcher and then sell it, and it's like you're over store cost, like a grocery store. So for us it's crazy.
Oh, you're froze up?
Yeah.
Should be good.
It's Friday for your camera.
Yeah, exactly. The camera does that every so often. It's like
you're still having the same issue. Is it the camera itself? You should buy a new one.
The camera's, I think, more advanced than the software we have. Okay. So it's
not the camera. It's just
it's not the camera.
Really
it's the.
It could also be that there's a lot of people on the web right now, and we're in the boons. The internet is not always.
And it could be where I live too. Everyone bugs me about where I live in the internet out here. So.
Yeah, but your property is amazing.
Yes, but if you're listening to dogs 24/7,
oh no,
howl and bark and.
Oh no, your neighbor has dogs?
Like we have 9 neighbors that have dogs, I think. Kennels, pensions, as you would say in Quebec. So if you've gone through any of our videos, like entirely all of them, you'll hear a dog bark in probably every single one.
Yeah, but I always thought it was Odin. I always thought it was.
No, like across the street we have sled dogs, and then over there we have good pension, and then down the street another pension, and then more sled dogs, and then next door to us right here we've got a dog training facility, and they do the diving off the dock into the water, and beside that's more sled dogs, and then more sled dogs, and it's like, yeah. So I had a chat with my neighbor. I'm like, dude, do you have a schedule for like your dog training? Because it's like getting out of hand. So
that means when you're on your land, the only thing you're hearing is not the birds and the bees, it's dogs barking.
I think from like 4 a.m. till 6 a.m. we hear the birds. And then the rest of the time is dogs. And then the odd time is filled with sirloin or Joe Beefy, our 2 bulls.
And somewhere around that is Odin.
Yeah, every so often. But Odin's like extremely quiet. Like,
yeah, I never hear him.
No, the odd time he'll bark when he wants to play or that sort of thing. But
how is Odin?
He never howls. Like if you Google or YouTube basset hounds howling, he rarely does that. Like it's like once or twice a year he does that.
How does Odin get along with the new dog?
Not too bad. So we got the new dog, and she is 8.5 years old, and she's an ex-sled dog from three neighbors down, and she has kind of matured him a little bit because being a sled dog versus being an in-house dog is a totally different dog. So, Odin's raised in the house. Bump was raised in sort of a barn, you could say. It's still an awesome setting, but it's still kind of a barn. But it's very based on hierarchy. So the sled dogs are like, there is an alpha dog and it goes down the line. So when those kind of dogs meet a dog that's raised in a house, there's a little bit of back and forth. So every so often, Odin gets excited, say, when we get home, say I've gone down to the office for a day, and then I come back at night, and Odin's like freaking out. He's like jumping off the couch and at the door, waiting to see me. Well, Banff is like, she's kind of excited too, but not so much. But I guess Odin pisses her off because Odin's too excited. So she'll like snarl and start barking and biting, and then it'll get into a little fight. So
it's like having teens all over again.
So it's just like, seriously.
It's like having teens.
It is. It's like having, like, I don't have enough kids already. Like,
it's funny because when we were at your place, the dog woke us up.
Which
the new one?
It must have been Bump.
She was sleeping with Marilyn.
Yeah.
In the bedroom.
Yeah.
And at some point around 6 a.m., she woke up and realized that she didn't know who was next to her and started barking at Marilyn.
Yeah. And she'll still do that. She'll get up at like 5:30, and she'll start walking around the house. So then all you hear is like tick, 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 tick of the nails on the hardwood floor. It's like, yeah.
Fun. I have similar issues with Luna, the newest dog.
Yeah.
The husky mix, and the little one, Theo, which is I think 6 or 7 years old. He's a Yorkshire. Oh God, the two of them together is like child number 4 and child number 5. They're always fighting.
Yeah.
But it's the little one causing the trouble, not the big one.
Well, now we've got, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but the boys now have another dog.
No, I did not see
Max. So Max is, I want to say he's like a 7-month-old black retriever.
Oh.
Mixed with something else. So he's an awesome little guy. He's pretty good with stuff. He's getting house trained already. He goes to the door when he needs to go out and all that sort of stuff. But now you have a sled dog, a basset hound raised in the house, and then a new puppy. And it's just like,
I think that's just called pure chaos.
It is pure chaos. So every so often, like, Banff, the sled dog, has a problem with Odin because Odin's not behaving the way a wild pack is supposed to behave. So she gets angry and starts barking and biting and fighting with Odin. And then we break that up. And then all of a sudden, Max, the new little puppy, jumps in there on Odin, and Odin gets pissed off. So then he's fighting and barking with little Max, the puppy, because, Max pissed him off. And it's just like,
3 kids.
Yeah, basically.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
Yeah, it's like
3 different dogs, totally.
It totally is.
I was
It's crazy.
told that it's going to be the first 9 months to like 18 months, depending, because it's a mixed breed, so I won't know. That it's going to be a little bit quieter. I hope that it's going to be that. So I still have about a year to go.
Yeah. How old is it now?
Luna is going to be. Wait, Décembre, Janvier, Février, Mars, Avril, Mai, Juin. She's going to be 8 months in 2 days.
Okay. So is that your first dog or no?
My first pup.
Okay.
That I'm raising by myself. Well,
one of the things I watched, which was pretty cool, was I think it was on Netflix, and it was like about these herding dogs down in Australia and what they actually put them through for training. And it was pretty neat. And I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff I should have done with Odin when he was young. And it was basically like holding them in your arms, holding them upside down in your arms to make sure like they're okay. And like, I forget what it's called. I'll send you a message and let you know the video. But
part of her breed mix is berger. What's it called in English? Shepherd. So we know that it's a type of shepherd, but we don't know which. And it makes sense because she wants to herd everyone. You know, when the kids are not behaving, she's barking because she wants to tell them, you know, you're not in line. Like you're not.
Yeah.
You're not doing what you're supposed to. But like I have.
So this would be a good video for you to watch for like some of the stuff they do with them. Yeah. But it's like Australian cattle dogs, basically, what they do with them. And it's really neat. And it's like, oh yeah, there's some stuff we should have done with Odin to make sure he was submissive to us. So like he's totally submissive to me for the most part, except if we give him like a cow bone or he gets some raw meat or something, then it's like it's game on, which it should not be.
Try me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, bring it.
Well, she's still a pup. I went to courses with her. So she went to pre-K, learning like basics, like sit, stand, lay, touch, all of those stuff, and walking. And so she has basics, but I'm going to do another course to stimulate her mind more.
Yeah. Because shepherds are so...
Yeah, there's so much stimulating I can do with peanut butter and those lick pads. So there's other stuff that I want to do so that she can be physically drained, but also mentally drained, because then it's going to bring down the bad behaviors.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Versus our basset hound where he has to be like nostril drained, scent drained. Like...
Oh yeah, because he has to smell. I was trying to understand.
Like, versus, you know, say you have like a shepherd or a Malinois or something like that, where it's like they're on peak nonstop, right?
Yeah.
And they've got to do something that some sort of obedience all the time. Whereas the basset hound or like the bloodhound or something, it's like you put them on a trail or a scent, and then that's it. They'll drain themselves.
Yeah, but didn't you say that doesn't work with Odin? He kind of like he goes the opposite side of the rabbit.
Oh, that's the one thing is he still isn't. He's good, but he's not that good. So he
gets the smell, but not the right way.
Yeah, if we play hide and seek with him, no problem. Done. He will follow the scent. And it's funny too, because if we're in the house and Bridget or I have Odin in the house, and lately, because I've been going out picking blueberries at lunch or like right after work, I'll head out and pick blueberries. Bridget will take Odin and let him out the back door and go, "Where's Dad?" Or, you know, that sort of thing. And she'll follow him and he'll find me because he'll follow where I've gone specifically, like through the bush or on the trails, and he'll find me, no problem. But sometimes when you have like a rabbit and it kind of darts around a little bit, it's like, if he hasn't been following it exactly, he'll sometimes go back on the path where it was. So
Okay, so
he's
he
got
needs
to
practice.
he's got to practice that what's new scent versus what is the old scent. Yeah.
How old is
Imagine
Odin?
He's 3 now.
Okay,
If you
so
could
he's in
train
his
him the proper way, you would have a good hunter right in front of you.
Yeah, training, taking the time.
It is. It's between 15 minutes to 2 hours of training per day.
It's crazy how much you have to teach them.
Yeah. But like it's our peak season, so it's for me I stopped the courses. It's literally not possible. And like the kids have soccer, volleyball, this, that, and then neighbors ask you, "Oh, do you want to come in for a drink?" and blah blah. There's no time.
It's crazy. That's
How can
just
you
it.
say no to a drink?
Hmm?
How can you say no to a drink?
Seriously, come on.
It's hard. It's hard. Like there's I can't remember if it was this week or last week. My neighbor messaged me, says like, "You want to come for a drink?" I was like in the process of canning, and I was having a malfunction on one of my canners, and the other one was not, the little dancer on top. It took like for freaking ever to start dancing. I'm like, I want to go for a drink, but I can't go. So I had to ask for a rain check, but usually I never say no. So lesson learned, don't start canners.
So when you coming for a drink?
It would have to be in the fall.
Okay. See, the fall for us is the busy time.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, usually because that's when we're harvesting everything. And
That's
then
true,
we're
you're
harvesting the pigs, harvesting the cow. Except this year we might be a little slower because of our meat situation. But
I would love
if you want to
go
come visit, just let us know.
I would love to. You're a little bit past Mallory?
No, we're before Mallory from you. So we're northwest of Quebec City.
I would have to see, because going to the convention for me was 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Exactly, James.
Actually, no. Are you on the north side of Quebec or?
North.
North?
So you don't have to go south of the river.
Okay, so it's still over 3 hours.
Yeah. That's not too bad, though.
No, it's not too bad.
It's doable.
Come for a weekend.
Yeah. Leave the kids behind.
Chris and Steph are actually coming this coming weekend. I'm so excited. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So Hickory Croft is coming to visit us this coming weekend. I'm so excited.
That's so cool.
I'm going to Chris and Steph are probably going to want to see stuff. And I'm going to be like, guys, I'm going to pick your brain. What do we do about this? Like, what is this? Like, tell me more about this. And I'm like, they're going to be so sick of me asking them questions.
I would love to sit down with Chris and Steph and just literally pick their brains for hours and feed her with some strawberry wine, rhubarb wine, and feed him.
I think people don't get how smart they are.
It's crazy.
Homesteading life.
Because he has
the knowledge they have on stuff is just unreal. It blows my mind.
So he has the two sides. So he has the scientific and biology.
Yeah.
And then he has the homesteading. And then there's like the next level. So then he started the chicken math, the tomato math, and this math. And like he just, I could listen to him for like hours.
Exactly. It's crazy. Yep.
The thing is, I'd have to remember.
Hi, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Hi. Feed him some squash.
Squash.
Yeah. I'm out.
Well, a little secret that Steph is a big fan of that root beer rum that I like too.
Root beer rum.
Yeah, it's one of those So I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's like made in Quebec, and it's artesian boutique rum, right? So it's made with root beer, and you actually have like a root beer rum. And it's so cool, and it comes and it's got this label on it, and it comes with a pencil too, and it says, has all these little lines on it that says, I shared this rum with. And then you're supposed to write your name down with everyone you shared the rum with.
It comes
which is
with that on
cool.
the bottle?
Except for me, I just keep writing my own name down on it. You shared it with myself. I shared it with myself. I shared it with myself.
You should add a name of someone else so people don't think you drink the entire bottle.
Yeah, like you can put Darren, you can put Door.
That's true. I could do that. And then the other one that Steph got too was one similar, but it was like a Kraken instead of. So you know the
bottle.
Kraken.
Oh wait.
There's a Kraken rum, and it's not the dark or something. It's like a different one. It was like a special edition Kraken. Yes, I can see it, but yeah, that's it.
My lighting is crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
It is expensive.
Exactly, James. Me, myself, and I shared this bottle.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous.
So it's going to be so cool to have them here and just pick their brain on, like, what are your thoughts on this? What should we do here? Would you change this? What, like, I like.
Yeah, they think they're going on vacation and they'll be.
Oh yeah, no, they're not. They're like, yeah, they're going to be trapped here.
I think I would love to visit different homestead and stay for like 1 or 2 nights, help out, obviously, and just listen and watch and learn other people.
That would be awesome for us to set up, is like do like a rotation of like everyone's homesteads. And
obviously there's certain places that are farther along. Like Remy's like, I think 15 hours.
No, but still, even if...
Yeah, it would be
Did you mean like farther like distance or farther like
distance-wise? No. Distance. Yeah. I didn't say anything mean.
No, but even still, it's like...
It would be fun. Like, I remember when Remy was here with Marilyn, and there's like, from your videos, we thought this was here, this was there, this was there, this was like, they had a different perspective.
It's so funny you say that, because last Friday, Angie and Mike from Me and You Acres came to visit us, because Angie works with me at my company. So she came down here and we did a product knowledge thing at our place. So we gave them a quick tour and stuff. And the funny thing is that I hear from everyone who visits us is it's not what it seems in the videos. Remy, I think you've said it too, is like, you know, the videos show one thing and then you get here and it's like totally kind of different from what it seems like in the videos.
Yeah. True. There's also places that we don't show because like we have our stuff laying around or things we didn't pick up or weeds we didn't pick. So there's things that we don't necessarily show.
Take care, James.
Bye.
Hey, take care.
Thanks for stopping by. Well,
yeah, thanks so much, everything.
It's the angles that you film. It's the way you're moving. It's, I don't know, when you have that in your mind, you're like, okay, this is the front of the house. He's pushing the snow that way. So that way is probably, but then you get there and it's like, okay, so you were pushing the snow that way and your animals are back there. And I don't know, it's just.
I need to figure out how the drone works. So like my husband has a drone.
All of us could do like a drone shot of what we have. It would be so cool.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't film everything. Like my animals portion, I don't film. I never film my animals.
Why not?
My city.
Do you beat them?
No, my city.
You don't have animals. I got my drone today, by the way.
You did?
Animals?
But
Yeah.
well, they know I have chickens because you hear. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to
So
hide.
did that work out for you that we were discussing?
Yeah, well, as far as I'm
Perfect.
concerned, I'm still trying to figure out if there was any way they could scam me.
I'm working on one like that now. It's like, they said, send us this information and we'll send you some stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think all the information I send you is pretty much out there anyway. So,
Yeah.
So they're giving you a gift card to purchase a drone,
Yeah.
and you have to use the drone and make a video of your.
They just want me to use the drone and make a video on it and make a review on the drone and leave a review on Amazon.
Okay.
So the fact that like the worst they could do would be scam me for the $300 worth of the worth of the drone, which would still leave me with the drone here because I have it here.
It's kind of hard.
And I have 2 batteries, 2 chargers. The joystick is actually pretty cool. I have it here because it's charging. It's something
dude, did you know you could like pilot a sub with that?
a what?
A sub.
A submarine.
So I have it plugged, so I can't pull that in.
Trying to
You
out
have the 2 little things here, the antenna here, and then this here opens up where you have more options in there. So it's kind of like a real remote control.
Team
And
me up, Scotty.
it's I tried, and well, I'm not a good driver.
You tried to beam
but
someone up?
Huh?
You tried to beam someone up? No. Okay. Just checking.
behave.
But the thing is, as soon as I got that deal done, I received an email from someone else, and they said, we're watching your videos. You're a homesteader. You're preserving stuff. We want to send you those plastic rolls that you put in the vacuum sealer.
Oh, let's talk offline.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Yeah,
I don't know. They
vacuum
seem
sealer
legit.
bags.
Huh?
Vacuum sealer bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat offline.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's being serious or he's playing.
No, I got discussing it with them as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's funny. I don't get those.
It's weird that some of us get those emails, some of us don't, and it's like,
Well, I'll be honest.
Yes.
Since Lynn
Yeah,
got hacked, every single mail that I receive that is asking me to do something, I delete it.
email. I thought
Yeah, it's mainly email.
every single mail that sends me something.
No, email. Back to Basics has an email, and I receive it on 2 of my channels. So the French one I receive, and I also, some people send me stuff to review, like lights under the counter. So I'm like, I'm not even that.
Yeah, there's been a few I just totally ignore, and then Remy was mentioning the drone. They sent me an email, and then I totally ignored it, and now they sent me another one. Whereas yeah, you want to review our $80 drone, and now it's do you want to review our $300 drone? I'm like, what? And then there's some other ones that seem legit, like we were talking about the vacuum sealer bags. So it looks interesting, but
cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, it all depends on what they're asking us to do.
It's not only what they're asking us, but how, and for me with that one is the time frame. It's okay,
Well, you're committing to something.
I like to be sure of a product I'm endorsing.
True.
So if you give me a time frame on how I have to and when I have to endorse that product, I want to make sure it's
to your liking.
To my liking. So
because you're putting your channel name and your name
Yeah, and it just goes with kind of my philosophy when I started my own company and was doing retail, and I'm in sales now. So it's like, I don't like selling crap products.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
for myself, I'm like, I don't sell crap products in my profession, and I don't want to sell it in my personal life. So
Yeah, Lynn said
Highly,
it.
totally agree.
Totally agree.
exactly, that's just it. So if you give me a timeline, then
Like you need to
it.
try it, and let's just say that you're not using at the moment those bags. Well, then you're kind of forced to do something.
Oh, I could probably do it now that we're harvesting stuff. We could do it, but
Yeah, but then
again,
the more you're using it more when you harvest meat, I guess.
yeah, meat's the big one for us. Is when we're harvesting meat, that really makes a huge difference on not only the bags but the sealer we're using.
Oh, I have to go. I have to. My little dog wants to go outside.
Okay.
So thanks for having me,
Well,
and
thanks for
we'll
being here.
we'll
We'll
chat
talk
later.
to you soon.
Bye.
Yeah, take care. Thanks. And if she comes back, I can put her back on.
Yeah.
Uh, Same for me, Lynn. I was a web programmer and I stopped making websites for people because I didn't believe in what I was doing anymore because Facebook came out, all those other websites came out. You can do a page on Facebook and get even more customers than you would on a website. So, but it's intriguing that when I spoke to the guy about the drone, at some point I said, there's so many scammers out there that we are very careful because you had just told me that you received an email from them. And I told them, like, I didn't say your name, but I said, I know you emailed another one of my friends, but everyone is just being careful because there's scammers, hackers, and we just want to be sure about what we're doing. And he's like, you're not the first one to tell us that. And it's really making our jobs a lot harder because
Oh, I
his job was to
bet.
promote the stuff, find ways to promote the stuff, go
Yeah.
do things differently than just put commercials on TV.
I can just imagine how hard it is now for anyone who is actually legit
Yeah.
trying to promote stuff.
Because the
But
way they did it,
again, one of the easiest things I find is the email that it comes from, and then you just follow that email back to the website. And a few of them, like the drone, like the bags, are you find a good website, you find good products and that. So it's like versus other ones where it's like, go to this website and PM us. It's like, no, like if you're not sending me an email from your actual website or the actual marketing company, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the way that they did it for the drone is when they send me an email saying that they want to send me a drone. So at first I'm like, okay, well, what do you need from me? And they're like, just let us know if you're interested. If you have an Amazon account, we'll send you the money for the drone. You can buy the drone off Amazon
That's crazy.
and leave a review, and that's all we need from you. Make a video about the drone. And I'm like, okay, well, what guarantees you that I'm going to take the money and actually buy the drone? I can take the money and do whatever I want. But then, from PayPal, they send me money on PayPal, so they can actually say that I never gave them what they were asking for. So now I'm like, okay, well, if they do that, regardless of what I did, um, what's the worst that can happen to me? It could cost me the $279 that they send me for the drone. And I'm trying to think if there's any other way that it could scam me. Right now, I have their emails, all the communication we've had. I even went on their website. I sent an email to the info on their website, and they have an Amazon page. So I can't see how they would be able to scam me right now. I just can't see it.
Ellie Dan, hope you're doing amazing tonight. Good to see you.
Good to have you here.
I hope I pronounced that right.
El Dan or Ellie Dan?
Ellie? L or Ellie? Yeah. Always a big supporter.
Well, Len, the way that I intend to do it is to show the stuff in my garden, to show the homestead. You can do amazing, Eldan. You can do amazing footage with the drone, and honestly, the quality of the image is actually pretty good from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I can't wait to have another drone shot of our property and do it that.
Okay, good luck, Lynn. Windows are shaking. All right, well, stay safe and I hope everything goes well. Yeah, and I get this email for the drone, and like 2 days later, I get the email about the seal bags. I'm like, So now I'm wondering, did I do something I shouldn't have done? Why?
I'm like, if you want to scam me or take my Facebook profile, I'm like, I don't think anyone could be me on Facebook.
No, exactly.
The stuff I post on Facebook and what I share on Facebook is like, if you're trying to scam me and steal my profile on Facebook, good luck with that.
And it's going to be pretty easy to see. Like if I was to start sending you emails about joining my business, you know I don't have a business. Like, I mean,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
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 I received an email from a friend the other day saying, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Good, you? Good. Have you seen my new whatever it was, my new thing there?" And blah blah blah. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It doesn't make sense.
No.
So
blueberries. Yeah. It's so funny because everyone who's seen that video is talking about one of those rakes, and it might be in the garage, but I do have one of those blueberry scoops. The problem is it's made for like the bigger blueberries. So if you try and use it on the wild blueberries, it doesn't scoop everything and they get stuck in the little things, like the little tines. It's like, to make a wild blueberry scoop, I gotta shrink the tines closer together. And then with that too, I worry about getting, again, too many leaves and too many blueberries that aren't ripe. So it's like, I know everyone talks about having the blueberry rake, but I got to figure out a way. And I know there is one because they do it commercially. It's like, how do you separate the actual ripe blueberries from the leaves and the non-ripe blueberries? So
yeah, and I find that when you harvest them with your hands, you can still grab a couple like at the same time, like a bunch of them at the same time, and just go and.
The thing that I found, so both Bridget and I have gone out, and I go out and I harvest them, and when I bring back the little container full of blueberries, I don't have to sort them at all. Like, I don't have to pick out twigs. I don't have to pick out bugs. I don't have to pick out leaves. Whereas I find with anything Bridget does, we kind of have to, like, she fills it up so much faster than I do, like probably half the time. But then we have to sort out the leaves and the twigs and that sort of stuff and the non-ripe ones. So
yeah. And I was told today that the wild blueberries around here are ready now. They're usually a little bit later in the season, but I guess they're ready now, and it's raining the whole weekend. So when am I going to go? I don't know, but luckily for us here in New Brunswick, we have a long weekend. So maybe Monday, I
This
think
week?
it's not supposed to rain.
This weekend?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone but here in Quebec. So
Yeah.
it's like, working in sales, and when everyone in the rest of Canada has a holiday and we don't in Quebec, I just kind of like
Well, it seems like we celebrate. Do you guys celebrate Canada Day in Quebec, or it's mostly
not much.
Yeah,
No, it's like
24th of June mostly.
Saint Jean Baptiste Day is so much more celebrated than Canada Day. Canada Day is like mwah, 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 mwah.
Yeah.
But I think with everything that's going on in Canada, Canada Day across Canada is not much.
It's not what it used
anymore.
to be.
No,
It's not what it used to
exactly. So,
yeah. I'm not going to talk about it. But
no, exactly. We'll kind of move on from there, and let's find a different topic.
I used to hate when customers would say, "Have a great weekend," and I was like, "Weekends are meaningless when you work retail." True. Some people like
I worked
nurses.
retail and I worked horse farms. There's no such thing as weekends. And I work sales now, so weekends and overtime,
it's common.
I'm like, whatever.
Well, it's still pretty cool when you have that extra money, and I know in your case you have a what?
What extra money?
Well, it pays the bills. You don't see it, but you don't get a phone call from someone saying that you owe them money and they're going to cut your electricity or.
Besides the government wanting their taxes.
True. Yeah, but in your case, I know from what you were telling me, they're pretty flexible. If you do overtime
for my work,
week, you can pretty much have like the next week off. Like if you, if you do the job, you can have the
for us, I love where I work because we're on salary. So, and then my boss and the owner, I guess, who started the company and that sort of thing, is very family oriented. So I don't think anyone else has what we have for, benefits and that kind of stuff. Like, so we have 106 days that we can take, 100 personal days that we can take, our vacation time. So and then we have like, work days that are not at the office, but if we go see clients and all that, then we put it into the system. And, if we're on the road for a week and all that, then we can take some time, personal time for ourselves when we get back because we spent so much time on the road. So for us,
not like that.
And for me in this position, it's like you work hard, you play hard. So there's a time to work hard and you go full blown doing what you need to do to get things done. And then in the other time, if you take the time that you need for family, and for me around the farm, it's like I can take that time if the pigs need water or feed, or I need to do a harvest, or we had the calf being born. I can take the time for that. So, and I make it up in what I do. So, yeah.
True. You do have a nice job.
I love it. I just, I really lucked into it, and I try and work as hard as I can to make sure that I do my best at it.
Yeah, and the words you use is pretty much the same words your boss told me when I visited. Work hard, play hard.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
And that's the
exactly.
way it should be. That's the way it should be. I mean, you do the
Yeah,
job. It doesn't matter if you do it in 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. You do your job. What's the harm in taking a few hours away to
yep.
go spend some time with your family? Um,
Yeah, exactly. And like I'll answer my phone while I'm on vacation and that kind of stuff to make sure my clients are serviced the way they need to be serviced. So it's one of those that, if
little sacrifice.
I'm yeah, you take a bit of time during your vacation, no problem. But then you're also taking your own time during work time, sort of thing. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It does have some goods and bads, I guess. If you're on
Yep.
vacation and you're in the middle of the woods or doing a presentation at the convention, well, it's not as fun to answer a client. But I mean, I get
And
what.
my clients understand too. It's like, I'll take I'll take a sales phone call when I'm out picking blueberries in the backyard, like in the back of the homestead. And, you know, the clients are like, I need to order this. I'm like, all right, well, shoot me an email on it with the numbers. And as soon as I get back to the computer, I'll get it entered in for you. Not a problem at all. So there's that. It works very well for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm guessing someone in the army must be hard to leave everything at work.
There, for me, doing sales, I'd say it's hard to leave work at work. But again, I'm also bringing my personal life into work as well. So there's a bit of give and take.
Yeah. I work in a hospital and I see some stuff sometimes that we're not allowed to talk about. We have to stay confidential. But sometimes there's stuff out there that we see. I'm not gonna lie and say that we're like in New York where there's a lot of stuff happening. We don't see like crazy stuff all the time, but every once in a while we'll see something that will break our heart, or uh, we'll be in a position where we wish we weren't there.
Yeah,
Um,
I
when
can
when you
imagine
hear
that.
when you hear stories about a mother that as her kids taken away because she was on drugs, or you have to take care of the baby because the baby was addicted to drugs before he was even born. That's hard. Um, when I remember this one time, I there was a medication that was needed on the trauma unit, and everyone was afraid to go. The girls were all afraid to go because they knew that there was someone there being like worked on, that compression and CPR and all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't mind. I'm gonna go. Like, as much as I don't like seeing people in that situation, this is something I wish I would have done with my life. I love to have like the feeling that we need to save someone's life. And I was there. I went there, brought the medications, and I had to bring the medication at the end of the room. By the time I got there, turn around, there was this stretcher in front of me, and they were working on another patient, and like everything was happening so fast. It took like 5 minutes, and even if we're in a small place, like the doctors that were there, I think they were amazing. They started putting a tube to the person, to the patient, and just like went like quick, boom, boom, boom. We're done now. Start doing like pumping the chest and all that kind of stuff. It's something that can give people nightmares. I'm lucky that it's something that I was just like fascinated about how good staff was. But for some other people, it might be something that is very draining. You see that every day. I get that it could be, something that
Well, I can
hard to
imagine
keep
like
at work.
the fact that you have no, I want to say no influence, but the fact that in some cases, whatever you do doesn't make a difference. I can see where that would be just emotional draining and heartbreaking, where it's like whatever you do, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, you can try as hard as you want. That patient is just, there's no way to save him.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're doing the one thing and there's only the one tiny detail that can make a difference, and you have to do that thing, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to do it. No. I'm thinking that could probably be worse, knowing that there's something different you could have done and you didn't do it. Yeah, I'm sure David has seen some pretty awful stuff. Tracy was here on November 11th talking about what he's seen in the army, when he went to war. It's something that can mark you for life. Like pretty much all the veterans are like, they have PTSD, and it's hard for them after that.
Oh yeah, my one good buddy who was a warrant with 1RCR, PTSD and stuff, and he loved killing stuff. Like, he's one of those guys, like, you could throw grenades at him and he excels. But still, being someone who excelled at what he did, there's still emotions and other stuff that that sort of thing affects them.
And and that's the thing. By the time they realize that something's going on in their minds, sometimes it might be too late, and not that there's nothing you can do, but it makes it harder for psychiatrists or psychologists to dig in there and try to help you, because there are some wounds that will never heal. We're going down a deep path again tonight.
We are going. I was going to get into some other stuff, but I'm like, no, that's just yeah.
So I'm gonna go soon. I'm gonna start the live stream soon. But before we do you have any idea when you're gonna start doing live streams again?
I don't know, because our IT screwed up our whole computer system. So that just, like, when I was doing live streams, it was kind of like a whirlwind of IT screwing stuff up, and then going into spring, our busy season. So our desktop got crashed and all this sort of stuff that I was using. And I was using the work computer for doing these live streams. And now I've got my laptop that we purchased, so I can use that. So tonight it took me 15 minutes to get that rehooked up to use the mic here, and then this actual camera, and then I've got it actually hooked up to 2 other video screens. So my laptop's actually down here, and then I've got one screen here and another screen over here. So it's like, maybe come fall, when I'm less busy and I can figure out how to hook and disconnect everything easily from the work computer to the home computer, then I'll start doing some stuff again.
I have one of those things here. I don't think you can. Well, it's hooked to the computer, so I can't really. It's USB thingy that you can plug like 4 or 5 USB. That saves a lot of time. You just have to unplug that one thing. So I don't know if that would be an option that could help you a little bit. Okay, so you already have it. It's exactly the same. Anchor.
That's just for the monitors and the cam and the mic and hooking that stuff up. And then I've got this one here for the audio. And it's like, yeah. And then I got to resort this all out on Monday for my work computer. So,
Well, if it only takes 15 minutes, it's not so bad.
It's not too bad anyway.
I've
But
seen worse.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna thank you, and Annie's not here, but thank you both for joining me tonight. I didn't really have anything planned, and it kind of went by very fast. Thank you, everyone who was in the chat, and Back to Basics Homestead and Thorhaven Farm. Awesome channels, awesome people. If you are not already subscribed, I suggest you go and subscribe to them and follow them. And we'll probably talk to you soon.
Thanks for having us.
All right. I'm going to leave with some music and talk to you guys later.
Take care all.